So the title of this video is Staying Stuck in Limbo. To expand on this a bit more, I'll be talking about why staying stuck in the same position is actually worse than taking action and it perhaps not going the way you thought it should go. Now, a lot of us, we like to stay in that comfort zone. That's points where we feel safe. We don't want to go out because something could go wrong, or we want to push the limits or try something new. Something could go wrong and we lose what we've got now. So we stay fixed in that, that area, that safe zone. And most people live their lives like this. And this is not in alignment with what the universal life actually wants. Because life wants you to progress forward. So actually what will happen in the long term, in the long run, whether you like it or not, life will push you out of that comfort zone because it wants growth. It wants you to develop, to get better, to be in alignment with your purpose, to try new things, to experience new things. But if you stay in that safe zone for so long, life will do that forcefully. It will push you out that zone forcefully. And that's when we see things like suffering happen. Like you see people lose their job, let's say. And they go, I've lost my job, I'm going to make money. But often the signs were there beforehand. And the signs would have been there. Perhaps you weren't enjoying the job. Perhaps the pay was low. The manager was not that great. Toxic work environment. The signs were there for you to leave way early on. But because you didn't listen to it, you stay, you're like, oh, but I get paid. I get a comfortable money, a comfortable salary. So it's fine, I'll stay here. Even though you hate it, it's making you miserable and you're not growing, nothing like that. So then life will actually put you, or I should say, it will create a scenario, and it goes back to a video I spoke about just recently. But once again, it puts a situation to take you out of that current job in this case in order to progress you forward. Because right now you're staying stuck in that position and energy is getting stagnant again. And I think the thing that people fear the most is if they took action, go into the unknown, and it goes wrong. It doesn't happen. You quit your job, you apply for a new one, but you don't get a job, so then you're left with no money. But we're thinking of it wrong, you see. Because it's that process that is the most important, the way you're picking up the skills, the development. That is the most important part, not the job itself. So the process of applying for new jobs, once again to stay into this same scenario, the process of applying to new jobs is going to give you more growth than staying in your current job. And even if you don't get a job straight away, and it may take a while, you'll learn more by the process, because you may need to do a new CV, you may need to learn some new skills, you may need to learn resilience from applying, rejection, applying, getting rejected, applying, rejected constantly. You may need to learn better communication skills, going into interviews, communicating better, phone skills, email skills, answering emails from your potential employers. So you'll learn a lot more skills, which is the growth. Like life is for growth. That's because a lot of people don't enjoy that growth. That's why they don't go out that zone. And they see it as a failure. Because society's like, in societal terms, if you quit your, say, a decent paying job to then apply for a new one that you either didn't get, or the job wasn't as high paying as the previous one, let's say you got a job, but it's not as high paying, not as prestigious, not as luxury. In societal terms, this is a failure. Sorry, that will make more sense. So that will be seen as failure because you're getting paid £20,000 less now, and the job's not from this big company, this bank that you used to work at. But it's the wrong way around, because in that job that pays less, perhaps you're learning more skills, perhaps you're getting more growth, perhaps you're impacting the world more. But society only sees it as money, as like a show off, as an egoic thing. That's the thing that society's looking at. It's almost like a narcissistic bubble where it's like, how can I look good for everyone? That's what's successful. If it looks good, then I'm good. Yeah, then that's successful. But society's got it all wrong. We've got it all wrong. We're living like underdeveloped teenagers or children that have got the ideas back to front. And I completely forgot the actual title of this video. Let me just see what I titled it. Oh yeah, Staying Stuck in Limbo. That was the one. Staying Stuck in Limbo. And another thing is as well, like we've got the wrong idea. and I've noticed this over the past 2 3 years as well. Like we see it as a failure if we don't get that thing. So let's stick to the example of job hunting or even like a business, let's say. Now, you could say, from a societal perspective again, if you didn't get a job, say you was applying for a month, 2 months, 3 months, you didn't get a job, or even if you were starting your own business and you didn't have much success in the business didn't get any new clients, or you didn't sell any products, whatever it is for you, that's once again seen as a failure. But nobody sees the skills, the development, like the amount of skills that you learn from trying to run a business is genuinely unbelievable. Way more than you learn from any nonsense degree, any qualification. But because you didn't get the ideal client or the business didn't make tons of profit in that year, perhaps everyone sees it as a failure. And they say, "You see, I told you you should have stuck to the safe job or the safe environment. You shouldn't have gone for that." No, the growth that happened, you cannot learn that from other places, and that's what we need to shift the focus onto growth rather than the end outcome. And I know eventually, yes, if you're looking for jobs, eventually you want to get a job or eventually you want to do a successful business, but that comes after. That comes after all the setbacks, all the failures, all the weeks, months, even perhaps years of, trying new skills, bettering yourself, all this kind of stuff. So you need to become the individual that can have that thing. So once again, going back to the business, if you want a successful business, it's actually better to have, say, it could be 10 months, it could be a year, 2 years, 3 years of less success, but then you learn all the skills in the process, become the individual, you learn the ins and outs, you have the mindset of the business owner, the CEO, whatever, and then you get success, say 2 3 years down the line, than it would be to get, say, within 2 3 months you make profit, you get a few quid, you make a decent bit of money, and everyone society goes, "Oh, see, successful business, yes, businessman, very good." So that, I know it looks good in society's terms, like 2 months, I made some money in my business, and now I made profit, and it looks good to everyone else. I'm successful. Obviously, if you've developed the skills beforehand, become the identity of a successful business owner, then fine, yes. But a lot of us, if you start from scratch and you don't have the skills, is my point. It will be better for it to be 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, whatever, to almost have less success in terms of profit, successful business, but you've built those traits, the identity, the habits that long term have ingrained that within you and then lead you to becoming a successful business owner down the line. And it may be you don't even run a business down the line, but you've developed the skills to do it, which will lead you to the next thing that you were more in alignment for. So, but if you stayed stuck in the old position, you didn't take that risk, you would never have developed those skills. And that's what annoys me in society. But hey, it is what it is. This is how, unfortunately, society is structured. And this is why majority of people will stay stuck as either average or below average, because they're not willing to go out that crowd mentality. Because most people in the crowd, they stick to do what each other's doing. If you just go into a social environment, you look at what one person does. One person has a cigarette at a nightclub, at a bar. People that don't even smoke, they join them. I don't normally smoke, but it's social, yes, social this, garbage this. If you don't smoke, you shouldn't be smoking regardless, not because it's social, but you're just conforming. And if you're stuck around other people that are conforming to these negative habits, the average way of living, that are stuck in the comfort zone, you will become that as well. I used to do it back in the day, in fact. I never used to like drinking alcohol. But say when I was a teenager or a young adult, I wouldn't like drinking, but I'll drink just to fit in with everyone else, Fit in, okay, I don't drink, but I'll drink to, have a good time and have a laugh with my friends. You've got to ask yourself, if you've got to do stuff you don't want to do to fit in, are these the people you want to be around anyway? Not really. And I know I've gone off on a little bit of a side tangent, but it kind of all links in one way or another. When really the best route is to follow that, go out of that comfort zone, try new things. And that's something I started doing because I was very much stagnant doing stuff to fit in, doing stuff to I didn't want to make mistakes. That was one big thing for me. If I made a mistake, that would bring, everyone would be looking down on me, judge, you'd bring shame to the family growing up, or shame, embarrassing your friends, what they're going to think of you, laugh at you. And because of that, because of all those, mental projections in my head, I was staying stuck as playing it safe, playing it very safe every time. And I wasn't living the life that I wanted to live. It was safe and it just made me freaking miserable. I'm just safe. Okay, safe, perfect. And he gets to the point, and he's got to the point for me where I'm so fed up of this safe lifestyle, was doing what everyone else wants me to do, doing all that. It got to the point where I don't even care if I lose everything, or if I do it and I lose it, or I literally don't even care anymore. I'd rather get out of this comfort zone and at least attempt to go for that thing I want. Even if I lose it, it got to the point it was so miserable and boring and dull and people pleasing everyone else, doing stuff for everyone else. I was like, you know what? I don't care. If I lose it all at this point, so be it. I don't care at this point. At least I can say I've tried and went for it. Because if you don't go for it, you don't even attempt to go for it, you're not going to get it 100%. But at least if you do go for it and it fails, at least you can say at the end of your life, at least I tried. I gave it my all and I tried. I pushed out that comfort zone. Because the one thing for me was thinking, getting to the end of my life, I got to the point I was like, if I just look back at a life and I think, I wish I'd done that, but I didn't because I was scared of what people thought of me. And often people don't care about you anyway. They're too busy caring about themselves, so they don't care about you. But staying stuck in limbo, in that place of non-moving forward, going after your goals, your dreams, all because you have that fear within you. And it's awful because a lot of people, I'd say most people in society are living like this. You can tell most people don't enjoy their jobs. They go to a job, they're miserable, but because it pays good and because it's safe or because they don't want to let their family down, they do it. I'm not saying, and obviously we need money, and of course you need some people have difficult situations. I get it, but the point is always still do your job if you have to. Still do something you're miserable if you have to, but at the same time still be pushing out the comfort zone, trying to at least to the best of your ability go for that thing that you want. That's the way I see it. And if you don't, life will get so miserable that it kind of forces you to at least try it. So, and it's got to the point for me anyway, I can speak from my experience, that when your life situation gets so stagnant, so boring, or so, so mundane, or so even in some cases so painful, you just go for it. You don't care if it backfires, you don't care if you lose it all, you don't care if it goes wrong, you don't care if people judge you, shame you. You just go, thank God I just tried it. Because once again, it's that process. For me anyway, I care more about that bettering myself. Like if I try something and it fails, I can say, but did I do better than the last time I attempted it? Yes, perfect. For me, I've achieved something. That's accomplishment for me. Rather than, okay, maybe I went for this goal, I failed it, and seeing it as a failure, I go, no, okay, I failed the goal. Did I improve on the last time? Yes, I improved compared to the last time I tried it. Okay, that's progress. So, can I improve again? Well, I improved last time, so maybe I can improve again. Let's try it again, but adapt, change it a little bit, and then go for that goal once again. Because you're not going to just go from, this point straight to that point. There's little steps along the way which you have to. That's where you learn the skills. That's where you pick up the things. That's where you become the identity. Because, the ultimate desire, the goal, the manifestation that you want, it happens in illogical steps. Because you have the end goal, you know where you're at now, but you may not realize that you need to pick up skills in different areas of life. So let's use an example. Let's use an example. Let's say you want to run a business. There we go. Perfect. You want to run a successful business. Say this is the end goal. This is where you are now. Okay. Let's try and get that in the camera screen. There we go. So this is where you are now. This is where you want to go. Run a business that makes, I don't know, £1 million a year. Let's just for the sake of argument that, I don't know, cures cancer. Let's just say that. £1 million a year that cures cancer. Now, that's a big goal. But where you're at now, you may have only worked a job in, let's say McDonald's. Let's just use a very basic example. Nothing wrong with McDonald's, but as a McDonald's employer serving fries every day, the chances are you don't have the skills to run a business making £1 million that cures cancer. Okay, maybe you have this goal, the idea, but you don't have the skill set yet. Okay, maybe someone out there does, and you're going to get offended. Oh, the skills are going to. I'm talking about in general. Okay, You're used to just serving chips, fries, burgers. Okay, so you've set the goal, and then okay, I need to get £1 million, but you don't know about money, you don't know about curing the cancer maybe itself, you don't know how to run employees or how to do taxes, all this stuff. So you need little steps. You need to build up the steps to then get to the top goal. So then maybe you get an opportunity in a company that is to do with sales. It's calling up people every day. It's just selling them, I don't know, internet packages over the phone. You're like, well, I said I wanted to run £1 million company that cures cancer. Now I've been offered a job that's doing sales for internet, calling 100 people a day. This doesn't make sense. This is nonsense. This is absolute garbage. But what you don't realize is that job has come in front of you in order to equip you with the necessary skills that will contribute towards that bigger vision, that bigger business. So the skills you could learn from sales, in this case, is one, communication with people, learning how to interact with people. It's learning resilience, which you need when you're running a business, because you may not get a sale straight away. You may be set back. You may lose money. You need to keep going. Sales calls, when you're doing sales calls, you're just calling, rejection, calling, rejection, calling, rejection. So you pick up the resilience. You're learning the communication, whether it's text, email, word to word, face to face, one-to-one, videos. So you're learning these little skill sets, okay? But like I said, it goes back to the thing again. Like, people may see that as a failure. Let's say your sales job pays you, not much more than the McDonald's job, or pays you less than the McDonald's job. You can think, oh, it's a failure, it's awful, I'm not making no money. No, exactly, you're looking at it wrong. You're learning the skill set to become the individual that will lead you to that end goal. So stop thinking of it in societal terms. Society's, got the nonsense way of thinking about it. So then let's say you get that sales job, you do that for a few months, a year, whatever. And you're like, okay, I'm trying to run that business now. But then you try and run the £1 million business that cures cancer, and for whatever reason it fails. Something happens, the investors don't help, they reject your idea, you don't get the clients, the employees, whatever. You're like, I've developed the skills, but I've still not got the job. Well, it's a failure. Maybe you still don't have other skills. Maybe you don't have let's say, the necessary qualifications in, I don't know, science or doctoral studies, whatever it is, to actually cure the cancer. Or maybe you don't have the networking skills to communicate with other doctors or other scientists who can help cure the cancer, let's say in this case. So then maybe a job comes up or another opportunity comes up where you're working in you're working in a communications role, let's say, a comms role, where you do like email advertising, or you do meetings with different people from different industries, stuff like that. You get them together at events. You think, well, that's still not relevant to my £1 million business idea where I cure cancer. Once again, maybe you're learning networking skills in this communications role. You're learning how to network with different individuals from different departments, from different industries, to bring them together, which will be relevant for your business because you'll be bringing together clients, potential clients, doctors, scientists, investors, this. You'll be bringing them together. So that's a skill set that you'll learn to apply to your business down the line. And once again, you could look at it from societal terms and go, absolute failure. I still didn't get my £1 million business. It's not for me. No, you've learned the sales skills. Now you're learning the networking skills. So the point I'm trying to make is we have the little milestones, the stepping stones to get to that end goal. But we often don't look at it. We see it as a failure because we can't see the bigger picture. We can only see what's in front of us. And even if worst case scenario, after many years of trying, you still don't get that business, you've still developed a load of skill sets, become a new person that can lead you to success elsewhere. And one thing I will add, which is very, very important, we think life has to happen on our terms. We think this goal that we want has to happen. You set a goal. And it's good to be ambitious with goals. Don't get me wrong. So I actually set a target for myself to improve my lifestyle, the health eating, let's say, and all that, to clear up my diet. And initially I was going to set it for a year or something, because I was going to go for a longer term goal. But I thought, let's just cut this in half for 6 months in order to maintain the ideal lifestyle. And it's good to be ambitious, don't get me wrong. It's good to push, go for it. And it may happen, it may not. But the point is, we think life should happen on our terms when For example, that 6 month time frame may be too short for me. It may actually be, it needs to take 1 year, 2 years for me to actually achieve that goal. But I just had to learn steps along the way. So don't think it's always going to go on your terms. It happened on life's terms, universe's terms. So you keep pushing, keep taking those steps, and accept that it may not happen when you want. And if it doesn't, it's not a failure necessarily. And even if it's a failure, it's still not a failure because you've learned from it. You've learned the skills, you become a new person, new identity, and now you won't go back to that old life anyway. So staying stuck in limbo, it's a very bizarre one. But if I were to leave you with one thing, it will be just take steps out of your comfort zone to the best of your ability each day that you can, obviously. So now it's to say like something like if you've never done exercise in the past 10 years, not to say go out and the next day run a marathon, again it comes just take little steps out your comfort zone to not stay staying in limbo. It could be for you getting off the couch and going for a walk around the block. 1 minute walk, 2 minute walk around the block. Just do that. Just something. And then look back the next day. You said, okay, yesterday I did a 1 minute walk around. Today I'll do 2 minutes. Next day, 3 minutes. Just try and improve. You're just competing against yourself. That's all you're doing. Forget what everyone else is doing. Forget if your friend says, oh, you only did a 1 minute walk around the block. That's your personal target. And build on each day. Then maybe instead of walking, you start a light jog. Then you extend the duration, just a little bit, 1 bit at a time, just try and get better. And accept failures are going to happen. But the point is, the failures are meant to be like an elastic band. So when elastic band, if I pull the elastic band back and I let it forward, it goes further ahead. That's what the idea of the failure is. The failure is pulling you back temporarily for you to learn from it, adapt, look at what went wrong. Once you've adapted, then you spring forward again with those new changes, okay? Hope that helps. Have a great week. And see you at the next one.